And the day I decided that I am going to go back home, that is the night I slept for the first time in a very, very long time. Why are you coming clean during the day? I am a whole IT guy, but I would cry in the shower. I would cry and go down on my knees.
We continue to tell these stories. So powerful, so encouraging, life journeys, regrets, passion, triumphs, failures, victories. It's all happening here on Maisha Nordics. Today, we have a guest again, all the way from Nairobi. Maisha Nordics, stories as we are. Njambi, I mean, this now counts full circle. You know, I mean, I'm getting this feel of because the thing is that we don't get these stories. You know, just somebody just up and went, and they tell you, hey, life is fine, and life just went on, and everything is so on point and so on schedule in their life that you never get to know exact. I don't want to call them frustrations, but the struggles and the challenges that you because I mean, there are people who would go through struggles without necessarily getting frustrated. So how did it come full circle, or when did it come full circle?
Let me start with Finland, right? So I have listed the reasons why I chose to leave. Right, and I can list a few of the things that I definitely wish we had at that point, and I hope that we now have in that space. The awareness that we all need support. I don't think, maybe it was our age, maybe it is the environment, I don't know, but our level of support system for each other is not mature. Like you pointed out earlier, we give drinks, house parties, road trips as our form of support system, and then we get back to our busy lives. I wish we had a space where men could sit down and have proper conversations. Women could meet and encourage each other, and discuss deep, real stuff that we did not have. We didn't even know we needed to have. And I pointed to you earlier that this space that is Maisha Nordics, I wish we have more of that, because people can open up. My blog is called, it's a blog and a podcast. It's called Documenting Life Lessons. And I try to be as raw and as open as I can, because my experience has taught me so many lessons that I want people who go through that journey can be able to experience. The second thing is, in addition to support, I think teaching, learning how to manage your finances. I don't think we had those conversations. How to deal with depression. We didn't have those conversations. How to deal with taking care of your family at home, because I know so many of the people in Finland carry that burden of taking care of their families, and I know people who would take half their salaries just to go back home, and also some would take loans to go back home, you know, to keep up appearances. We did not have that kind of education, and I truly, truly wish that we had that. And then finally, just to have a space where Kenyans are Kenyans, you know. There are cliques. I don't know if that still exists, but you know, there are cliques that fight amongst themselves instead of actually empowering each other. And I think that now comes back to the projects. What projects are you guys working on so that you can empower each other? Because it's a very small community. When I came back now, let me come to Kenya. In addition to the frustration with living with my parents, let me not paint it as a frustration, but it was a pain point for me. Like I wish I could go clubbing, you know. I wish my Fridays would be different. but they don't subscribe to that, so you have to comply. And then of course the frustration with getting a job, and finding my purpose. There was also integration, that word you used, right? I experienced culture shock because the people who I knew were miles ahead, right? They had graduated, they had their homes, some had gotten married, they had kids. Me, I was just there living it up, you know? I didn't have any prospect, I didn't have a way forward. I was just like, you know what, leo ni Friday to Jibambe. But I felt really, really odd. Even my closest friends, we didn't have conversations. You feel left out, you know? And now you have to start making this entirely new circle of friends. I have to say it took me close to 5 years to be able to have people who are more than acquaintances, you know?
It took about 5 years for it to start.
5 years.
Yeah.
Yes. Moving into a space of impersonal, because you get acquaintances from work, from where you live and the likes, but getting into that space where you let people into your life, it took me well over 5 years, by the way, and it's still a process. What are we on? The fourth thing for me has been accepting things that you can change and accepting things that you cannot change, you know. And this is something that I should have learned from a very, very young age, because Kenya can frustrate you. When you think about how things are not working, when you think about how politicians are playing us, it can get you agitated, but you have to choose that this is the happiness that I want to keep. This is the opportunity that I want to pursue and the likes. There are so many lessons I have picked from Kenya, but I think that would need an entire blog. But for the most part, that has been it. And the ability, the courage to just do it, you know, just do it. For me, leaving Finland was, actually okay, you know, if I fall, I fall, you know. And you would hear people being told, usiende sahi, so ukienda utafanya. But if you feel that you have done what you can and Finland is not building you, I think it's okay for you to come back home. When I think about it, even in my worst, even at my very, very worst in Kenya, it was never as bad as my worst in Finland. Yeah.
And that is very key, because I think that there is the fear. And you've lived here and you know how comfortable it can be. And by comfortable, I don't mean that you're not stressed or you're not, but you can have this, you can, if you're a loner, you can thrive as a loner here.
Yes, you can. That's true.
And if you're a loner and you're okay with being a loner, it's perfect. But if you're a loner because of the circumstances, then it's horrible. So so I understand you on that aspect, that, you know, you, at that point when you felt that it wasn't working, you did something about it, because of course, not to blame people who are not doing something about their situation, but to continue toiling, you know, every morning, as you say, that you'd go in the shower and just ball up, cry for hours, and then come out smiling. You can only do that so much.
You can only do it for so long. Yeah.
Yeah. So taking that action that, okay, this is the end of the road for me. I'm going to start another chapter. I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to start from minus, not even from zero.
It was minus. It was.
Yeah. I mean, as you said, you didn't even have finances to start off.
I did not. Yeah.
I mean, the story is so amazing. And now you are a mother, you found love again. You know, it really, really did come full circle.
It really did. And in retrospect, everything happens to end up in a certain space. You know, I cannot, if you had told me then that things will get better, I would not have believed you, right?
Right.
But in the bigger picture and where I am and where I plan to be, moving back for me was the best decision I could have made. But I also want to let people know that you don't have to move back to Kenya. I think I want to get rid of that narrative that lazima urudi home. But don't be afraid to move away from the cocoon that is not
if it's
serving
not working.
you.
If it's not working.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it's not working, move to Australia, move to whatever, move to wherever it is you feel that it might have a space for you. I say go where you're wanted. I did not feel wanted in Finland, not by my friends,
the philosophy of
mostly
it
by the system.
Yeah, it's like, you know, if something is not working for you, have the courage to change it. Yeah.
Precisely. In fact, the serenity prayer is my mantra because it has really, really helped me, even in the seemingly small things that you experience. It has really, really helped me put things in perspective. So I'm good. I love it. And most importantly, I know Kenyans who've come back to Finland. We have formed an association, by the way.
Oh, really?
It's called the
Are you talking about
it's called
Kenyans who have come back to Kenya?
Kenyans who've come back to Kenya from Sumi.
Yes. Yeah.
And we are just trying to build up that spirit because based on experience, we found that Kenyans coming back is an entirely different thing to the system. Like it shocks you. And what we're trying to do, we formed it with Kanja, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yes, Kanja and Wamboi Karanja.
Yes.
Just to try and ease Kenyans back to Kenya.
It's wonderful.
Right? Socially, economically, business-wise, just to guide you. Where do you get your business permit if you're trying to run a business? What are the best places you can get for rent? You know, those kinds of conversations. Because when we came back, we didn't have that kind of support, right? So those are the kind of conversations we're trying to create. You know, it's not a complete perfect system, but we are just trying to help.
So just sort of a support system for re-entry, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Awesome.
Precisely.
And just to answer some of your questions that you asked about the things that were lacking back then when you left, and what I wouldn't say the community has been able to do about it, is that I would say that things are much better in terms of finding support. There's a lot of groups that unfortunately there's still a lot of cliques. But there is a support system that has sort of come up because cases of depression and struggles have become more prominent, especially recently with COVID and unemployment and families. People are getting older, so and it becomes difficult to hide your problems. I would say that the females are doing much better. There are organizations, meetups, Zoom meetings. We have organizations called Lift Me Up, wonderful organization working with young. Yeah, we have another organization, Mothers and Children, or Mothers and Kids. The women are doing better because they can talk and they are able to open up. The men, there's still a lot.
It's still a work in progress.
It's still a work in progress, but And that's the reason why we're starting avenues like Maisha Nordics to open, and not just only for Kenyans but for immigrants, you know, because not only Kenyans are going through this, a lot of immigrants, and trying to chart our conversations so we tell our own stories, because for a long time, because the immigrant community is so small here, that the locals get to tell our stories. So this is a chance for us to tell our own stories, our own survival stories, our own triumphs, our own failures, our own lessons, for us, by us.
That is super, super amazing. And I also want to point out that the same is reflected. It's not just in Finland, but even in Kenya, I think we keep having the same discussions that men need to be aware enough to create spaces where they can be open and discuss, because they choose more of the suicide route. They end up being more depressed than even the women. Women will talk, women will run. We have a support system for everything. And I think the end game for this whole conversation is find your support system, because no one can go it alone. No one, absolutely no one can go it alone. So if you're in Finland, find your support system. If you're a man, find your support system. If you're a woman, find your support system. I have a support system for everything. My professional life, pregnancy, motherhood, colic, breastfeeding, houses, gardening. I kid you not. We have support systems for everything.
I would tell you that I would tell you that for men that would be overwhelming. So of course we need it. It can be that, because I mean, with women, there's multitasking, there is career, motherhood, and you're sort of built for that. And I'm not saying that men should have, but should not have that.
Sorry. We're not built for it. We adapt to it.
You adapt to it better.
We wish we didn't have to, but we adapt to it.
You adapt to it better. Thank you so much. You know, we this could go, man. This, you know.
I know.
But definitely, I'm definitely speaking to you again, and we will talk about the support systems, and we will talk about work, or rather employment situation in Kenya and in Finland. We will go deeper into that next time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for talking to
having me.
And,
this was so much fun.
I know, right? And you know, you look fine. You're a mother. I mean, you look so relaxed in your own space, and
I am happy. I am so happy.
It totally shows.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Let's have more of these conversations.
Absolutely.
I really want us to, in the future, have conversations, especially with the association, so that anyone listening to Maisha Nordics can know that when they come back, there is some sort, not even that much, but at least some sort of support once they land.
Very important. Let's do that. Let's make that actually as soon as possible, that we can speak to all of you. We can have the group thing, and so that, because I feel that is very important, and that could alleviate the fear, or mitigate the fear that people have about coming back, and demystify some of the mysteries that we think are back there that we cannot be able to handle.
Yes, that would be really dope.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Evans.
Have a lovely one. Enjoy the rest of it, and talk to you soon.
Okay, salimia familia.
Moi moi.
Okay, moi moi. Bye.
Bye.